easy means it wasn't very tight, it wasn't torqued to specs. I used a crowfoot, simple crow's foot. Ground down would fit around it and on the taper. That was too easy, but it's done. Now this one has a spring on it. I'm going to leave that on there. That's your cushion. That's where you get some of the bounce from on turning tight corners, especially on these four-wheel drives. Well, this is one of those Harbor Freight tools. It uses the adapters, and this is the adapter for it. The only issue on these, when you put the tie rod in, there's no way to hold it in place. So the best result on this is to put it in after you have the tie rod in, then slip this around and slip the tube over it, because the washer on the tie rod will hold it in place. The washer, you go ahead and put this in and hand tighten it, and then when you put this on, well, then the washer will keep this from going further, and you'll be able to torque it in. Otherwise, the tie rod will just fall all the way down inside the tube. So you want to put your tie rod in first, and then there you go. So you want to put tie rod in first. Once that's tightened down, hand tight, this will fit around it. Then you can put that tube around this and torque it down to spec. Okay, now this one is pretty good size. Look at the size of that compared to my hand. Has rollers inside here, and it works like a sprag. I don't know if some of you are familiar with a sprag, how that works. But as you turn it, it tightens up. Goes in and turn it, and it tightens up. Now if you want to loosen it, you just turn it back the other way and it tightens up. This is the one I'm interested in to see if it really does work. The diameter here, it'll be close getting it in there, but I think I've got plenty of room for it to go in there. I'll see here in a minute. Now this style works on the principle of force. If you get it on there and you tighten it up here, then it will push this in and pull this over and create a force to lock everything in place so that you can unscrew it. And as loose as this one was, the one I just pulled out, as loose as that thing was, man, this would work perfect. I don't know if I'm going to use this one. I don't like the idea of putting teeth marks on something to tighten it up, so I'm going to go with the other two first. Like I was saying, this goes in here, because with it all the way in there, this won't go any further forward. So when you put this on, you can lock it in place and it won't come off or go any further in, and you can torque it then into specs as I just tighten it up just a little more. This one here works pretty good. So this one is a question of room, and it's bumping the frame here, but I don't think that's going to hinder how it operates. So if you don't have a lot of space in there, and of course this one, yeah, it's rubbing against the frame, and it did not. I was just trying to hand loosen it, like I hand tightened it. Oh, it's not even letting me hand loosen it. So I'm thinking this one's going. Well, I guess it did loosen it. But with the frame pushing it down, see how the frame, it goes in? I don't like putting things, even though I think it'll work, I don't like putting things in a bind. So I'm going to go with the Maddox on this and torque it in. Well, isn't that interesting? How about that? There's the pitfall of that one. It won't allow my 1/2-inch Craftsman torque wrench to go in there. Well, it looks like there's a weld burr right there. Look at that right there. You can see it right there. I'll go take that off and see what happens. Yeah, the burr. So we're in business now. So with it back in place, should be able to torque it now. .72 foot-pounds according to specs. Now I'll bend those little ears over, and that is locked in place and ready to put back together. So in this case, I think the Maddox is the clear winner, and the crowfoot coming in a very close second. I think both of them will work just fine.